$250 million. Okay. He's also been issued a cease and desist letter. Now, here's why. From the family of George Floyd. This is why he is being sued. And this is important. It does affect you. It's easy to say, oh, this person's a celebrity. It's easy to say, oh, he put out some anti-Semitic tweets, or oh, he's bipolar, whatever issue it is that you have with Kanye West. But when you understand why he's actually being hit with this fine, why he actually might face legal ramifications, and what actually...
Damn, bro, 160,000 views. My boy fell off in one day. God damn, brother. Holy shit. Like, I'm surprised that he's not getting better views. Like, he's getting my level of views. That's crazy. Let's look at mine. Kanye needs to stop. Has Kanye gone full Nazi? 234K views 2 days ago. No, normally videos like this. Oh, it's Crowder Bits. It's his like clip channel. That's probably why.
Actually happened with Alex Jones. I recommend you go and watch our episode with him. It is having right now the effect that they wanted it to have.
It's wild that he considers the denial of a man being murdered by police as prime content. It's almost like he's using another black person to validate his belief that black lives don't matter. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely what's going on. We know Steven Crowder should be, if there was any sort of genuine karmic justice, Steven Crowder would be permanently banned from talking about the George Floyd murder forever, in perpetuity, after what he did. We all know what he did, okay? Come on.
And we'll show you their exact words. But these are the statements that got Yeezy in hot water.
Watch the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was...
Why is he yelling?
They want to...
I don't. What did he do? Steven Crowder recreated the George Floyd execution on a live stream where he didn't actually recreate it, obviously, because he's too big of a pussy. He didn't want to fucking die. Where he like did that to belittle the George Floyd execution and make it seem as though George Floyd had not died from a knee on his neck for 8 minutes, but from fentanyl in his body. Which, by the way, was disproven in a court. But it doesn't even matter. It was disproven by medical examiners, and it was disproven in court. But it still doesn't matter to likes of Kanye.
A tall guy like me.
I don't think
they want a tall guy like me. Hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. The Free George Floyd zone that they made, the murder rate is up 50% since George Floyd. It's mayhem. It's Mad Max.
Okay. So the suit claims that his comments are detrimental, quote, to George Floyd's daughter and as the sole beneficiary of his estate. That's why they're claiming these damages. This is after, again, all references available at louderscreditor.com. Kanye paid $2 million towards George Floyd's family for his daughter's tuition. So again, this does matter. You may not like what he said. You may not like how he said it. But this tells you where the guy's spirit is. Even though he disagrees with the media narrative, $2 million to the daughter at that point because his heart went out to her. When do we get to the point where we start judging people based on their...
What the fuck? Yeah, bro. He said that. No, he did. He did do that. He did do that. Ye did give them money. Ye, Kanye West, that's true. He's not wrong. Kanye West did actually give the George Floyd family money. He did. I think he said that he was going to put George Floyd's daughter through college, all that sort of stuff, right? Except that doesn't allow him a carte blanche approach to just fucking unload and then belittle and minimize George Floyd's legacy and lie about his execution. Like, you can't just buy your way out of that. You can't just be like, well, I gave you money early on so I can say whatever the fuck I want. That's crazy. I love that Steven Crowder is literally stating that, regardless of the media narrative that Kanye West doesn't agree with, he still gave money to George Floyd's daughter because he's so nice. But yeah, he donated $2 million to other causes, including paying the legal fees of Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor. And he set up a fund to cover the cost of the university for George Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. Yeah. I know that this is a shocking concept for chatters, especially because, chatters think because you gave me $5 a month, you can say whatever the fuck you want about me in the chat, but that's not how things work. Yeah, Jimmy Savile built kids' hospitals, which means he was allowed to be a nonce. Exactly. That's how it works. That's how it works, boys.
Actions more than the words. We can't, because we have to judge them on skin color. We have to judge them on gender. We have to judge them on political affiliation. We have to judge them based on not only their own gender, but where they line up on the other countless /52 / it just changed to 74 genders. $2 million to the family. And by the way, everything that he just said is accurate.
Yeah, but everybody's going to try and silence him and not, we didn't even know. You and I both didn't know that he had contributed any money to the family.
I had forgotten it, yeah.
And so it was money towards the family and towards her education. If she spends $2 million on a college education, I'm not exactly sure where she's going, right? But no, he's supporting people when they're in need, and then they're turning around and suing him for $250 million. I don't understand where the damages come from. I don't understand.
Well, okay, so they're saying, and they're trying to be very open.
What? What do you mean you don't understand where the damages come from? You can't fucking defame. What the fuck? Dude, there has never been a more transparent example that conservatives do not give a fuck about free speech and only just like being able to say whatever they want without zero repercussions than this moment and the Alex Jones trial. Okay? Alex Jones, in a court system, was found guilty of defaming families of the Sandy Hook victims. Okay? That's it. That is not protected speech. That's not covered under free speech. You can't. There are obviously boundaries to free speech. Unacceptable. Unacceptable to fucking hold on to this narrative that like, oh, it's free speech. Like, no, it doesn't fall under the boundaries of fucking free speech. You can't do that. And everyone, especially these incredibly litigious conservative freaks, oftentimes will try to sue people for defamation. They tried to do that for Kyle Rittenhouse. Remember when Kyle was doing a fucking tour and everyone was like, oh man, I can't wait for Kyle Rittenhouse to sue everyone and anyone. There has never been, even with the expansive, broad coverage, that American free speech offers, American free speech offers to every individual citizen, especially white conservatives, okay? There are still restrictions to that. There's always been restrictions. No one is a free speech absolutist, okay? That's part of the reason why I always say no one is a free speech absolutist. That's not a real thing. That's not a real concept, okay? This does not fall under the category. The George Floyd family suing Kanye is well within their right in this circumstance because of the things that Kanye was saying. He's defaming the family. He's defaming George Floyd. They have every right to be able to sue Kanye West. And he's doing it on a large-ass platform. It's like way larger than Alex Jones. You know what I mean? Way larger than Alex Jones.
Opaque about it. They're trying to say that it's causing damages because this was settled in court. He wasn't killed by the drugs. It was Chauvin and it's settled. And something interesting is that if Kanye goes into the paint here, guess what? That might actually force an acquittal for Chauvin if he now goes through a lawsuit and can prove.
What? Oh, dude, what a freak. He's insane, dude. He is sipping on the highest degree copium here. He's on like rainbow colored fentanyl copium, okay? He's on that new shit. That's crazy. Yeah, Derek Chauvin is going to get an acquittal because of the family of George Floyd suing Kanye for defamation. That's crazy.
Prove that, no, wait a second, there were other reasons that contributed to his death. There are a lot of dynamics at play. This is to silence someone with a platform. You have a big enough platform, they will try and silence you. It's not about the kind of platform that you have right now. It's, do you, A, either want to be able to have a platform, any platform, and B, do you understand that it's necessary for people on your side to have platforms? Now, let's go through George Floyd's autopsy report at the time of death. And we've done this a lot. We went through this topic ad nauseum as it was taking place, but okay. There were no life-threatening injuries that were identified, okay? There was no physical trauma to the neck. He had COVID. He had hypertensive heart disease.
This is fucking ridiculous, dude. Why have you done this a lot? What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about Steven Crowder. This is not real. What he's showing right now is quite literally, like, we are living in the future. We're not living in the past where conservatives can run with this narrative. The court declared that this was absolutely false, okay? I think maybe Steven Crowder wants to get in on the fucking defamation suit a little bit. For the record, please don't show this chat is too dumb. No. I don't give a fuck. There were multiple, as is the case in every single fucking murder, high-profile murder investigation, multiple autopsies are conducted. Some of the autopsies are conducted by medical examiners that are a little bit politically motivated. When the other medical examinations completely fucking go one way, and the singular one that is just standing out in the crowd, okay, being weaponized by indecent people, being weaponized by racist people like Steven Crowder, okay, it'll get thrown out, which this one did, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is the one that was not, this was not real.
He had arteriosclerosis. I can never say it. You know, the hard veins.
Arteriosclerotic heart disease.
Yeah, arteriosclerosis. I can never say it. Can you say it? Don't make me look. Can you say it?
Arteriosclerotic.
No, that's not what it is. That's arteriosclerotic heart disease. I'm trying to say the word that people know in their head, but I can't say.
We all know I can't say.
Okay.
Arthritic. Asterotic.
Why are you here? And by the way, the
arteriosclerotic.
R. Kelly. Heart disease.
Yes. All right. This
Archie
is awful.
Bunker.
The meth levels in a system were 19 nanograms per milliliter, okay? And there were various forms of fentanyl. There was a cornucopia of fentanyl, totaling around 16.6 nanograms per milliliter.
Wow.
Again, all the references are available at loudwithcrowder.com. Hit the like button if you want to help the algorithm here, because a lot of people still don't know this information. The lethal amount of fentanyl, particularly in combination with other drugs, so they have a threshold, right? Lethal amount of fentanyl. And then, of course, that threshold changes if it's in combination with other drugs. You ever taken medication at home that says do not combine with other medications, do not combine with alcohol? It's very common. We all know it. They didn't talk about this in the media. So the lethal dose, or I think it's the mean dose of lethality for fentanyl in combination with other drugs, is only 7 nanograms per milliliter.
Ooh.
Again, he was at 16.6 and 19 nanograms of meth, which we know, by the way, meth, of course, is one of the worst drugs to combine with any of the drugs. By itself, it's a wonderful solo artist. I highly recommend.
It's so crazy. He just happened to perish, just like that. Even though the cop was subduing him by choking him out with a knee to his neck, which a criminal court case proved at the end of a lengthy fucking trial. Okay? It's so strange. It's so strange for him to be saying this when a lengthy criminal trial completely fucking destroys the argument that Steven Crowder is trying to put together.
Recommend
Yes.
No. Only if you don't want to have teeth.
Yeah, or you don't want to sleep for 9 days, and you want just don't take it unless you want your apartment to be pristine.
Yes.
And live forever.
Yes.
So, I was really interested in this. I thought once the tempers kind of flared down a little bit on this, we could go back and review the actual evidence of this case.
I love that, by the way, YouTube just, suspended Ethan Klein for 7 days, who as a Jewish person himself said edgy things, definitely, that didn't put him in a good light, right? When he was covering Ben Shapiro and Ben Shapiro's allies and their attitude towards Jewish people, their anti-Semitism, right? Meanwhile, Steven Crowder gets to just fucking pop off like this with complete, just such clear disdain for black people in general, and benefits from it and makes money off of it. Are the medical documents about the contents in his blood 100% fake? No, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter how much you try to overemphasize the drugs that were in his fucking blood. Wait, what? Of course it doesn't matter. Even the first medical examiner that wrote fentanyl and meth intoxication on the report declared Floyd's death a homicide. Why do you think that is? Maryland officials ordered the reinvestigation about 100 deaths in police custody. After George Floyd was killed by former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in 2020, Maryland's former chief medical examiner, Dr. David Fowler, was called in as a defense witness for the 2021 trial. On the stand, Fowler testified that based on his study of the forensic evidence, Floyd's death should be classified as undetermined and not a homicide due to a medley of factors, including heart disease, drug use, and carbon monoxide exposure. For those of you who are saying, why is this guy doing this, right? Because the entire system is designed in a way to protect cops. Of course, medical examiners in every circumstance are going to be literally looking for ways to protect cops in unlawful murders that cops engage in, okay? And if that's your fucking exclusive job, it's like going to human resources and assuming that they're going to side with you. No, motherfucker. The job title is not to side with you. Their job in HR is not to side with you. It's to protect the corporation. Okay? Just like in a lot of these circumstances, when it comes to unlawful deaths, we're not talking about like fucking murders or serial killers or anything like that. We're talking about a cop killing someone. The medical examiner works with the cop. His job is to literally deflect the responsibility away from the cop. That's his job. And the fentanyl level was not fatal. Anyway, Chauvin was later convicted of murder and manslaughter for kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes, but Fowler's testimony, which contradicted the Hennepin medical examiner's determination that Floyd's death was a homicide, sparked immediate concern among hundreds of his peers around the country who suggested he might be motivated by a racial or pro-law enforcement bias. As a result, officials in Maryland launched a review last year of similarly in-custody death reports that were performed during Fowler's tenure at the helm of the state medical examiner's office. Now, that probe has spurred further scrutiny. After reviewing the work by Fowler and his team on over 1,300 cases in which people died in police custody, an independent audit design team is recommending that the state reinvestigate about 100 of those. The cases share key similarities, including the absence of an obvious medical cause of death, and they each involved physical restraint. We embarked on this process with the goal of overseeing a professional independent audit that adheres to the highest standards of impartiality and integrity. This is what happens when you fucking immediately assume that the structures that are designed a certain way are actually still adequate and genuinely have the best interests of the people at heart, okay? Kind of tired how biased you are against cops? Yeah, good one, dude. Good joke. Okay. By the way, if that degree of fentanyl in his blood was murderous, then doctors would be murdering motherfuckers on a regular basis, okay? They give way more than that to patients. Fentanyl is used inside of hospitals. Why are they not dying? Maybe because no doctor is also fucking personally choking any of their patients. So think before you go along with whatever narrative that someone who is very clearly demonstrated his dishonesty like Steven Crowder is pushing, okay? And Basan Bananang. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Fowler has been considered one of the foremost medical examiners of the country and served on the National Board of Medical Examiners, has defended his record, noting that he did not work alone when preparing autopsy conclusions. He's like, yeah, it was my underlings. It wasn't me. There's a large team of forensic pathologists with layers of supervision, and those medical examiners always did tremendous work, Fowler told the Baltimore Sun. The findings of the audit could have significant impact on several cases involving the deaths of other men in police custody, including the 2018 death of Anton Black. Fuck these people. Bro, if you watch a man get choked on the fucking concrete in front of 45 people in broad daylight, or 25 people in broad daylight, okay? And then you go to the otherwise white supremacist criminal justice system, and that cop, who we all know are fucking above the law, okay, in every other circumstance. But we find an instance where a cop who's otherwise above the law, found dead to rights, criminally liable, guilty of executing George Floyd for choking him out for 8 minutes with a knee to his neck. And you still find yourself rushing to defend Derek Chauvin in this situation. I'm sorry, but you're fucking insane. You are insanely racist. There's some other motivator here that you have to investigate inside of yourself, okay? It's crazy that you're just still desperately seeking out alternatives. And listen, man, cops indiscriminately kill white people too. Okay? If you're that fucking geared towards white supremacy, you probably don't realize that, like, a relative of yours can be in a similar situation at a certain point. Okay? And you are defending that unjustifiable system that could just as easily harm you as well down the line. Anyway.
Right. And see, like, the information like this, if you look at this in a vacuum and you don't have the social outcry that was going on during this trial and during that time, you're like, wow, this guy left to his own devices in that car probably dies within hours, right? At the very least. And even
that's bullshit. Like, that's literally, you just made that up. That's not real. And also, that's not what happened. What do you mean? You're admitting, even in your deflection, you're literally admitting that Derek Chauvin is criminally responsible, dude. That's the crazy part. He just admitted that Derek Chauvin is still criminally responsible for accelerating the demise of a human being, okay? You're a fucking cop, dog. Your job, if someone is in need of desperate medical attention, your job in that circumstance is to help them, not accelerate their death, which is not even the case here.
even the coroner, we'll talk about it in a minute, the coroner even said, like, yeah, if you found him at his home absent any other trauma, you're like, that's one hell of a drug overdose.
Well, you know what? Let's run, guys. I know we have that clip from our show. We'll run that last. But here, don't take my word for it. Here's a video presented during the Chauvin trial of George Floyd. In other words, to hear George Floyd say it, and again, this is a tragedy. Of course, you never want to see someone die.
That's not even true. He does not believe this is a tragedy. He literally tried to fake recreate it and didn't actually recreate it. Remember, he's too much of a coward to fucking die, okay?
Die, whether they're in custody or at their house. It's a life lost. But he said, I took too much drugs.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Did it appear that Mr. Floyd said, I ate too many drugs?
Yes, it did.
Now, does that mean it's
misspelled two?
Right. Does that mean that it's the only relevant? No, but it is relevant.
Very relevant.
And we've gone from...
Bro, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. Just because someone has drugs in their fucking system doesn't mean they deserve to die, number one. Number two, the amount of drugs that he had in his system were not the fucking responsible cause for his death. That same court showed that reality. Why is it so hard to fucking accept it? Because they're desperate to try to turn this around and be like, oh, it's another black drug addict or whatever the fuck. To like play to the fucking field on the stereotypes that they try to desperately cultivate about black people to continue a white supremacist narrative. That's the reason, okay? And if you don't fucking realize that, I don't know what to tell you, all right? It's crazy. This system does not offer concessions to the working poor, let alone working poor black people, okay? The one time where justice is served marginally, and these guys can't handle it. They can't. They don't want to admit it. They always rush to the what did they do to deserve it whenever a black person is murdered by police. It's fucking so obvious what they're doing. And yet people still refuse to see it.
Alex Jones, right? Well, don't say that the parents are crisis actors and harass them, which never actually, he never told people.
He did say the parents were crisis actors, and his fan base did harass them.
Harass him. He did say that he thought it was a hoax at one point. That was his opinion.
And I'm pretty sure he even agitated to directly harass the parents. So, you know, Steven Crowder lying again about yet another court case.
People would say that's an extreme example. If he just didn't do that, he wouldn't be sued and he wouldn't have lost. Well, hold on a second. Regardless of where you line up, Kanye repeated what George Floyd himself said and the autopsy report revealed.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
That's worthy of a lawsuit? Do you start seeing the picture here? And just in case you've forgotten, remember the prosecutor from the Alex Jones trial said that this was not only to hurt Alex Jones, but to remove his platform and to act as a deterrent to anyone else speaking out. That was the goal of it.
I ask that with your verdict, you not only take Alex Jones' platform that he talks about away, I ask that you make certain he can't rebuild the platform. That's what matters.
Yeah, no, that is the point. Yeah, no, literally. And that's actually a good point. Because when you are relentlessly fucking defaming people and actually having a genuine impact in their lives in a negative capacity because of your massive audience that you've cultivated by defaming people all the time and lying all the time, then yes, like, you shouldn't be able to continue having a fucking platform at that point. You have shown time and time again that you do not know how to fucking responsibly deal with that. That's crazy. Reported H3H3 Twitcher. People make it seem like having this platform is a human right. Like, having a platform to be able to spread nefarious conspiracy theories about people that end up harming them in tangible ways. Okay? Harming them in tangible ways is a human right. Like, you have to do it. It's like being cut off from your air supply, being cut off from your food supply. It's the same. It's fucking bananas, dude.
Take him out of this discourse, of this misinformation, of this peddling of lies, and make sure he can't do it again. That is punishment. That is deterrence. So I ask of you to take the bullhorn away from Alex Jones and take the first steps towards taking that bullhorn away from all the others who have it, or all the others who might want it, all the others who believe they can profit off of fear and misinformation. Make them understand that they too will sit their ass in that chair right there and have to actually respond in a court of law for what they do if they choose to do the same thing that Alex Jones did.
Okay, a couple of things. They weren't able to.
Yeah. Wait, what? Yes, Alex Jones was found to be guilty of spreading misinformation that ended up causing tangible damages. If other people do that, then yes, they should suffer the consequences as well. A part of the criminal justice system, or this wasn't even the criminal justice system, a part of the justice system in general and the court system is to prevent others from engaging in these sorts of actions, okay? This is no different than a prosecutor going on stage and saying, Jeffrey Dahmer is a murderer, okay? And we want to make sure that if you have that kind of hatred in your heart, if you have that murderous desire, that you will also be criminally punished, or you'll think twice about doing such a thing. That's like, that's the job, okay? That is the job. That is, and Steven Crowder's like, well, hold on now. Maybe those people deserved it. I mean, is Dahmer really a murderer? Like, that's basically what he is saying. It's crazy. He's using this clip as though it's like, as though this guy is saying something fucking wild. He was found liable for defamatory statements and intentionally inflicting emotional harm. It's nuts. But I know why Steven Crowder is scared. He's scared because a lot of what comparing lying to murder is actually crazy. It's called an analogy, okay? I'm not saying that lies is the same as murder, even though Alex Jones's lies have caused not murder, but close to it, people to be shot at. But you want to fucking take that in the least charitable way possible. Okay? Called an analogy. It doesn't have to be a direct one-to-one comparison. That chatter is now going to be faced with a top of the hour ad break. And you will be too, unless you subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. You can use that on your favorite broadcaster. Or you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
To prove that Alex Jones profited off it. They just meant that his show was profitable, and at some point he mentioned Sandy Hook. Out of the years and 3 hours a day of footage, they could only find 25 minutes, and honestly, it wasn't nearly as damning as you would think. But let me ask you
this. Wait, what? Bro, that's crazy. There's 25 minutes of unfiltered Alex Jones misinformation out there that has led to real damages, okay, in people's lives, and he's like, man, that's nothing. If it was 26 minutes now, well, that would be something. 25 minutes, however, 25 uninterrupted minutes. What the fuck are you saying? Like, when Steven Crowder cuts a video lying about George Floyd, right? It's 13 minutes. They won't factor the entirety of that into the fucking argument if they were to, let's say, sue Steven Crowder. Okay? They would factor just the parts where he's directly talking about it, which means 25 minutes of direct footage of Alex Jones lying implies that there are hours and hours and hours of him goading people, talking about it. That's crazy.
this. It's about the profit, right? That was the argument. It's because what Alex Jones said was so crazy. All right. What Kanye has said now is not that crazy. Whether you disagree or not, it's certainly factual when he said there were drugs in his system, that George Floyd said he had consumed too high of a dose of drugs. When the autopsy report reveals that the blood levels are higher than the lethal dose required. Okay, let's ask another question. How is Kanye profiting off of it? How is Kanye profiting off of it? You could maybe argue if he has a single called George Floyd Didn't Die. Ha!
Dude, that's awesome. He can't roll back the racism even while he's like trying to fucking functionally be on the side of Kanye. These are Kanye West's allies, bro. That's what happens when you're so fucking over the top with your anti-black sentiment. These are your fucking fellow allies, okay? Your brothers in bond. These are the people that are defending you. He does the $500 to act black challenge for free so often. He should stop doing it, I think. Yeah, I saw this. Rogan touching grass, wearing the Himbo Fitness Fit. Love to see it.
Right? But how is he profiting? It's not about the fact that Alex Jones was profiting off it, which they didn't prove. It's not about the fact that what he said was so radical. It is, as he said, removing the bullhorn from anyone else. Hey, who's next?
Yes. Yes. 100%. Yes. If you are defaming people deliberately and doing it over the course of many, many years, and those people are literally getting damaged by this defamation, then yes, you should no longer be able to profit off of that. You should no longer be able to have a bullhorn. Yes, that's how this works. I don't understand. The entire point of this is that, which is why the lawyer was saying exactly that. You can try to make an argument and claim that what Alex Jones did is not wrong, which is what you're desperately trying to do. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. The courts do not agree with you.
Because I don't believe, personally, that George Floyd died because of the knee on his neck. I think it was bad practice from the police. I think they were trained improperly because that was a practice that was taught to the police department. But I will say that 100%, okay, irrefutably, just a knee on the neck from a 165-pound man would not kill someone in that amount of time. Why? Well, I don't know. Is this worthy of a lawsuit? I did it.
Oh, he's trying to get sued. He wants the smoke. He literally just wants the smoke. He did this, by the way. I can't believe he's replaying this. He should have had me stand on his neck, dude. I would have done it. Remember how he crazy he got PewDiePie to collab? What, you mean here?
Well, now
definitely
For people watching,
Look how
I'm not
hostile
saying
he
this
is,
is
8
pleasant.
minutes in.
I'm asking, would this kill someone?
Somebody can do just fine in this position. It's uncomfortable, but it's not going to kill them, right?
It sucks, obviously.
No. What I will actually go further than that. My, I do grappling, and my father, who's a brown belt, it's far more uncomfortable for me to be under side control for him. I would not be able to maintain that for 9 minutes. And by the way, I have been talking this whole time, and in case people wonder, I talk really fast, and I have a heart condition.
Yeah.
It's a chest condition where my bone goes into my heart. I have to get surgery in July. The point is,
sounds like Alf.
Yeah, remember that surgery, dude? For a while, everybody was out there thinking, maybe medical technology is not so good, I hope.
the point is that this is probably more difficult for me than it is for a lot of you out there watching. But I also don't have 4 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in my system. And again, I'm just laying down because this is more comfortable.
Bro, he literally pushed the dude up. Look at this.
Than it is for a lot of you out there watching. But I also don't have 4 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in my system.
Look. Does that seem like you were getting choked on your neck, dog? He just lifted up his neck. Like, that immediately shows that your entire recreation of this was a sham, a mockery. Which it was. That was all this was. It was a mockery, okay? Does he think the autopsy was forged or anything? No, he doesn't care. He only cares about the medical examiner that said that there's fentanyl and meth in George Floyd's system. Because they're using anything and everything they can to deflect away from, the reality of the situation. That's why you don't hear him talk about all the fucking facts, even if it is to address it, even if it is to counter it, they don't talk about it. Because it's much easier to just give you half-truths and then leave it there. You defo lying on that one. Stop lying. Lying? Motherfucker, you can watch this guy who supposedly is being choked, right? Move his head and push the leg up. Does this strike you as being choked with a fucking knee? You're watching someone push back on the lightest amount of force on the back of his upper back, okay, not even on his neck, and you still fucking turn around and you're like, wow, that's fucked.
I'm just laying down because this is more comfortable.
Okay, I didn't hear, Seek. I couldn't hear you back then. I didn't realize that you said I sounded like Alf.
Well, you did.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't have taken that speedball.
Laced with fentanyl.
I should stay away from meth and stick with consuming cats.
Hanging out with the dad on his show.
Yes.
Who just loved crack.
Oh, yeah. He'd be a fan.
Oh, yeah, big time.
He'd be like, yes, let's do those drugs. The guy, I want to replace one of the words that he said. He's like, and I'm going to say exactly what he said. I want them to have to sit their ass in that chair and answer for free speech.
Yep.
That's exactly what he wants. He wants to put free speech on trial. By the way, Alex Jones wasn't the first person to talk.
Do you think he genuinely believes this shit like Alex Jones clearly believes what he says? Maybe. Not that it matters. It doesn't matter. Breathing expert estimates half of Chauvin's weight was on Floyd's neck. Notice how I'm sorry to show this, but notice how his toe is off the ground. And with Steven Crowder, that was not the case. That was 91 pounds of force applied directly to the neck of someone. But of course, Channel 5 dropped. Oh, we'll watch it.
Alex Jones wasn't calling for people to go after them. Kanye certainly is not the first person to say that George Floyd would have died from those drugs and that the knee wasn't on the neck like that. He's certainly not the first individual. The only reason I know that is because we watched the trial. That was the defense.
Right.
That was what evidence was presented to prove. Yeah. How in the world can you go after somebody for merely expressing an opinion that's already out there? And it has been
That's by design.
Since it came.
That's by design. It's not by accident.
Well, $1 billion in advertisement is a lot for that particular topic.
Right. Yeah. You would
I mean, that's really.
I don't understand. I don't understand how people think that this is a great way to go. Like, he's definitely going after free speech. Alex Jones, as much as you may hate what he said, had a right to say it.
And Kanye certainly has a right to say it. He absolutely has a right to say it, and everything that he has said is factually correct. You may not like the tone of it. Keep in mind, this is a guy who gave $2 million to the daughter of George Floyd. What have you virtue signaling white knights on TikTok done? Actions should matter. Remember when we judge people by their actions?
No, it's like, dude, he paid for it. He paid for it. That's what he's saying. He paid for it. He's like, he can say whatever he wants. That's cool, man. Well, he might have to pay for it again if he keeps this shit up.
We used to.
They're like what we virtue signaled?
Yes, we did. We said that Kanye is bad.
Yes. What do you
It's wild, though. Like, it's like, oh, well, other people have said it. Oh, okay. I mean, dude, the random fucking mentally ill person at the subway station has said things that Steven Crowder and Alex Jones have said. But obviously, it's a little bit different when you're fucking Alex Jones or Steven Crowder, when you have, millions of people who follow and hang on every word that you mention, which is crazy. What is this?